All right, so if you were on the last stream, we ran into an issue as we were going through the different links, the different component links for the Kali-Eminence box. We ran into an issue with, where is it? This host and subnet name mapping editor, right? So let's copy this, right? And this is provided in the official guide from, so if we go to GitLab. Right. This is like the official documentation. You can see we're under Kali Linux, Kali Purple, documentation, and if we go into the wiki here, come on. All right. If we go into the wiki and for the, is this a other host? Nope. This is a respond host, I believe. Yeah, Kali-Eminence. We go into the Malcolm section, and then when we go to this section here about all of the different links for the components, right? This is where they say go to for host and subnet name mapping editor. Go to this URL. So I'm just going to right click and click on it, and you'd expect there to be a host subnet name mapping editor, right? But instead we get a 404. I started going down a rabbit hole, and kind of got stuck and realized I didn't know entirely what I was doing. So I'm like, all right, let me just reach out to the folks in the Kali Purple Discord, because I've been following that, and sometimes they have like good answers. A lot of the times they're kind of rude. I don't know. Maybe they're not rude. Maybe it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's like a spectrum thing. But on the other side, I'm like, well, maybe I should just go to the let's see if Archemy or the folks or the Malcolm folks have like a Discord or something like that, IRC even, right? I don't care. I just want to talk to somebody who knows what's going on. So I go over into the Slack for Archemy and post my question under the questions channel, and like within minutes, somebody is like, "Hey," let me just read what he said. Yeah, somebody like called someone else out and then said, "What version are you using?" And then he's like, "Yeah," and he responded back. He says, that feature, the name map UI feature, was replaced with a much more capable netbox tool. So what we can do here, knowing that, right, from the guy who's like developing the software, knowing that we can go ahead and just safely click on this, hit delete bookmark, and know that if we want to do the editing for the subnets and all that, that's going to happen in netbox. So that's that. But then there was this other thing, account management. I didn't reach out about that. I think we talked about like, just not I'm not gonna have all these different accounts for this test box. And it's as with a lot of this stuff, there were a couple things that we ran into going through all of this where the software was too new or too old or just like incompatible and didn't work the way the guide said. So we had to find a workaround. So I guess the not fix, but what we're gonna end up doing is just like I'm probably gonna make like a video showing the maybe shorts, right? Because YouTube is pushing shorts. Like I'm probably gonna make a shorts video where I say, hey, here are the mistakes. Here are the like 3 spots you're gonna get stuck, right? The first thing, if we kind of go through the guide here from the top, right? While it's fresh in the head, the first thing is, you pull it up, you think, oh, I should start at 100, and then you start going and you realize, well, you don't have any network. So network is provided by Byzantium, and you think, okay, I'm going to set this up, and then you start setting this up, and you get to this part about Elastic Agent, and you're like, oh, well, I need to set up a
the Elastic server. So you start setting up the Elastic server, and then you start going back to these two, and in my experience, it makes sense to just spin up your Byzantium and Kali-Purple box at the same time, as far as sequencing goes. Then you'll have and just go through the entire, like, once your Byzantium box is up, use Kali-Purple to set up the aliases and firewall rules and the subnets. But then use the Kali-Purple, finish this install, do the Elasticsearch, fleet, metric beat, file beat, all that stuff. Then as you go through the install, then start from the top, right? As you go through the installs for Kali Violet, and what is it, Kali-Eminence, Kali-Heliotrope, Kali-Pearly, there's no jumping back and forth between the VMs. You can just get it all done in one. You can get each section done and without having to flip back and forth, so that's nice. The next thing is for Byzantium. In October of 2023, at least, if you follow the guide exactly, you're going to run into an issue when you get to beats. You're going to try and install the beats, and it's going to crap out telling you that it doesn't know how to resolve the host name, and that's really frustrating. And so you might do some digging and realize that that there was a guy who posted on the FreeBSD. Actually, I think I have the link here. So now that we're all said and done, we're just kind of going over what happened. Yeah, here it is. So you'll find this Bugzilla rack here. And this is what happens. Now, OpenSense is based on FreeBSD, so that's why this kind of happens. You'll do the file beat. There's a command when you're setting up the beats for OpenSense, a command that's like file beat module list or something like that. When you run that, you're going to get this error right here. Failed to get host information, unimplemented. And this is the guy who works on that package. I messaged him on LinkedIn. He basically just says, Go sysinfo doesn't have FreeBSD support. Like the way that it's trying to pull the system calls, which I think it's using like get hostname syscall or something like that. But the way that it tries to pull it is just not implemented in this version of FreeBSD. So, what's the fix? How can you keep moving forward and not have like a incomplete install of the sock in a box environment? You have to, let's go to beats, and I'll show you what helped me realize how to finish the install is this screenshot right here. So in this screenshot, you can see registering for beats 8-8.5.3. So I'm like, oh, okay, so if I get beats 853, that'll solve the problem. Sure enough, once I installed that, the problem was fixed. The next issue, let's see. The next issue was around, I think it was around DNS. Not so much an issue, but some of the documentation references, the fully qualified domain name, right? So when you go into the firewall, let's do that right now. When you go into the firewall, you can just manually set the DNS records for each machine, and that was here. I think we're going to go to services, Unbound DNS, and it's a section called overrides. And so from there, just go ahead and put in all the host names, put in the domain name, put in the IP. You can put a description if you want. Maybe that's helpful with some of these other things. But after doing this, now from when you're copying, pasting commands, like connecting things to Fleet, that's one of the big ones, or just trying to access one of the yeah, like for instance, that's right, trying to access something by the domain name instead of the IP address, that it just works. So let's do kali.pearly.kali.purple. Oh, what did I mess up here? Hey, look, there's my video. I think we forgot to put a HTTPS on the front of that, and it doesn't recognize the .purple, I think, so it's just like, yeah, I think we should do an internet search, because this guy needs some help. HTTPS:// secure connection failed. Oh man, what happened? Is that why we did the IP address? Or do we need to take the HTTPS off? Yeah, that's it. Okay. So, you know, once you set up these overrides, you can do things like just hit all of the different apps at their host names. What was the other thing? So going back into here, the sequencing, the Byzantium, beats, DNS overrides. The next hiccup or thing that kind of blew up was, I guess, this Malcolm thing. Maybe that was, at least from what I remember, the last roadblock that I really ran into was around Malcolm and these links and running the. You really have to pay attention to what it's saying, and there's gonna be, let's see, there's gonna be a lot of questions that the install script asks. So it's gonna ask you to do this scripts install.py. If you're moving a little fast and you're thinking you can just look here and think that you can hit, you know, Y, type in offsec, type N, because the sequence of this matches up with what the install.py script does, you're gonna make a mistake, because this file, when you download it, if you follow it now in October 2023, is newer. So you're gonna you're gonna screw something up, because I know, because I did. And once you do that, you're gonna have to like reboot or, you know, restart and try again, which I did, and you know, now it's up and working. The last problem we ran into was with this Kali-Pearly machine. You know, it just says, hey, go in, run this command, chip, chop, chip, you're done. But what it doesn't tell you, so that's, you know, that's fine. I think on the last version of the install videos, I just did a port forward. So I did an SSH port forward, like, you know, localhost 8080 on my machine forwards to port 42001 on the damn vulnerable web app box, the Kali-Pearly box, and that worked. But that, you know, it's not the cleanest thing. So going back in and realizing that, let's see, do I even have the, yeah, I don't have it up anymore, or do I? Yeah, no. Going into the damn vulnerable web app box, and let me just jump in and show you. This is the last thing that kind of tripped me up. SSH 10.0.0.3. Nope, that's the wrong IP. SSH 10.10.10.3. Or I could have used the host name, right? Okay, so the first thing was just like, oh, what's the web server running on? So we just looked at the process list, and we can see the nice thing about doing it here. Like, if you just go into Etsy, if you just list the nginx file Here, it doesn't give you what you're looking for. And then even, I think if you go into the, if you go into the config directory, there's nothing in there. So when you do it based off of the, when you list out the processes and you see the config parameter, and then you can say, oh, okay, that's where I know I got to go and edit the file. So when we looked at the file, and we're going to look at the file right now. When we looked at the file for these lines, these lines with the allow 127001 is basically saying, hey, only allow traffic to the this listener, this server on localhost, which isn't going to work out if we're trying to get into it from our Kali Heliotrope box, which is our kind of workstation, or at least that's how I've been using it. So once you comment out, they allow only from localhost, and this line here was deny all. Change that to allow all. Then or if you want to lock it down to a specific host, go ahead and put that in there. But once that's changed, and then you restart the damn vulnerable web app service, then you can actually log in, and you have basically access to everything. So now we have OpenCTI, Greenbone, we have Elastic, we have Firewall, we have Archimede, we have Malcolm up and running, and Netbox, CyberChef, Portainer, and we have damn vulnerable web app. We have the solid Kali-Purple sock in a box environment up and running, and I think it was, let's see, we go to YouTube and we check out the channel. There was a survey that I ran a long time ago, not terribly long, but just when we first started this stuff. What tutorials do you guys want to see next? And you said that you wanted to see. It's going to tell me? Do I have to click one? I'm curious about that one. All right, is it going to tell me? No. Okay. Well, you guys said that you wanted to see the full packet analysis use cases. So now that we have the full packet analysis system up, we're going to be working through that. And I think by the end of this, it's the beginning of the week, right? So by Monday, I'll start, I'm going to spend some time today, now that everything's up, getting used to whatever this is and understanding how it works, and then coming up with some scenarios. So that's what's next. I'm going to go ahead and schedule the next stream, do some research, and then I'll see you all on the next one. Thanks for watching.